Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. It's been a while since I actually looked at a titanium fountain pen, so for today I lined up this titanium pen that is coming from Big Design Ideas. It is a very interesting fountain pen and I have to admit it is one of my favorites. The package it came in, as you've probably seen already, it's a pretty nice, neat package. It did come with a few spare O-rings and a sticker and a few other things in there as you've seen them. The fountain pen in itself, it's fairly tiny. It's basically a pocket fountain pen that is entirely made of titanium cap, barrel, and section. Size-wise seems to be very similar with the Kawiko Sport Classic, but obviously a little bit heavier. The nib on the fountain pen originally came with a steel nib, but I did replace it with a BOCK titanium nib unit because I already had one. If you decide to buy this fountain pen by itself, it does have the option to order the titanium nib as well if you want to. Personally, I decided to go with the base choice just because I already had the titanium nib unit that I could use. As a fun fact, the fountain pen actually comes with a Kawiko converter. You can definitely use small cartridges, international cartridges with it, but because it comes with the converter, that's perfectly fine for me. And it has basically the old converter style, which is like a piston basically, without a spring attached to it. Pretty neat fountain pen, as I mentioned. Size-wise, again, it is similar with a Kawiko Sport. Even when it's uncapped, the barrel and the section are exactly the same size from the tip of the nib to the end of the barrel. However, when posted, because this titanium pen posts a little bit higher on the barrel, it is actually a little bit longer, so something to consider for those of you that prefer a longer pen. When posted, it has a very decent size and it does post very secure in place. The cap clips into place, is not a twist cap, and it clips into place with a very satisfying click. I'll try and catch it on the microphone if I can. The cool thing about the cap, and maybe bad thing about the cap, is that the clipping on is possible because of an O-ring that it's inserted inside the cap, and that allows for a nice smooth clicking transition, but at the same time also for a secure hold on the cap, and at the same time seals, in theory, the nib from drying out. How well will last over time? Well, only time will tell, but I would assume that eventually that O-ring being rubber and all that will degrade with time. But the good thing about it is that we do have a spare part in the package if needed. For the ink today, as you probably already see me filling it up, I decided to use a ink that personally, I forgot about it until I've seen one of the videos from one of my favorite YouTube channels, Mark Campagnet. Hopefully, I did not butcher Mark's name, but basically he is a professional artist and arts teacher, as far as I understood. And he has also videos where he draws a lot with fountain pens because, as me, he has an obsession with fountain pens. Anyway, in one of his videos last year, he made a reference or he made a video with specifically regarding Brun or Sepia inks, and this reminded me of this platinum pigment ink, Brun or Brun Sepia. This is my second bottle that I'm having. I meant to use it, but I forgot, and since I've been buying way too much ink over the past couple of years, and I've been trying them out. This one got pushed in the back, and yeah, I did forget about it. So thanks, Mark, for reminding me about this ink that I do like. And I was actually really curious how it's gonna look on this paper that I'm been using for my sketches slash drawings. Anyway, with the ink aside, I did have a little bit of an issue when I was trying to do the writing test. The ink looks beautiful, first of all, on the paper, so no fault on the ink, but as I was writing, there was an ink drop coming from the nib, so that scared me a little bit. I thought that might be some issues with the converter, and I did look at the converter, but the converter actually sits really tight around the nipple of the nib unit. Eventually I figured out that the issue was actually with the nib unit itself. As I got it, I didn't check it when I got it, but as I got it, it looks like the nib and the feed weren't pushed all the way inside the nib unit, and that was allowing for air to get inside the converter, and as such, it was basically burping ink. Not a big issue, I eventually figured it out and got it to work, so in essence, not a true issue with the ink or with the nib unit. It was just a matter of assembly. Other than that, I didn't really have any issues with the fountain pen. The nib in itself is not as smooth as I would have liked it, which is kind of weird for me to say that, because I do prefer nibs that give you a little bit more of a feedback, but this was giving way too much feedback to the point where it felt actually scratchy on both papers. It was definitely smoother on the Muji paper that I'm using for my test sample, but on this paper that I'm drawing, that it's, well, a little bit more rougher and a little bit more dustier, I would like to say. It definitely digs in a little bit deeper. Again, this is cold pressed, hand pressed, so it's not as nice and smooth as it will be hot pressed or machine pressed. Most probably I will be smoothing out that nib in time, but for the drawing portion I decided to use it as is. And there were a little bit of challenges in the sense that because again of the paper's type, the nib was tending to dig in a little bit in the paper more than I would like it to be, and this forced me to be even lighter than I want to be on this paper. But other than that, ink flow in theory was actually quite perfect. And it could have been even better if, again, the nib would have been smoother. Maybe I should have taken the time to do the smoothing before finishing the drawing, but I wanted to use it as is. Again, not on downside on the actual fountain pen, because I changed the nib unit. This is not the original nib unit that came with it, and it's as such is not a downside on the big idea design company, because they might check their nibs and you might not receive that. This was a nib unit that I separately purchased, and I had it before time, and I decided to use it just because I wanted to match the titanium. Speaking of the titanium, for those of you that are new and don't know about me much, I like titanium. Titanium material or metal or whatever you want to call it is one of my favorite materials. Also, titanium doesn't create any issues for me or for my skin. Titanium and sterling silver are usually my top choices when it comes to metallic fountain pens. I do like brass and I do like copper fountain pens as well, but depending on the quality of the brass of the cup or the copper, or if they are sealed or not, sometimes after longer periods of use, I do tend to start to have a little bit of an itchy skin. So I think I might have some type of small allergy to those metals. So far, titanium and sterling silver for me were ideal. Oh, and zirconium, as I figured out last year with the zirconium fountain pen that I looked at. With that aside, what I wanted to mention is that I usually tend to flame ionize titanium, but I do like the raw look of this fountain pen, and as such I kind of hold up on trying to flame anodize it. I do like this stone wash finish that it has, and I think I might be keeping it like this. I don't know. Since I wasn't sure, I decided not to tackle it or touch it and leave it as is, and so far it's been good. Going back to my drawing, I'm pretty much halfway through it. I had some issue with the recording. I took a break at one point in time, and you've probably already seen the jump, and I forgot to hit record for a good portion of the drawing. About an hour I went into this drawing without recording much. Fortunately though, the portion that I didn't get to record was the portion where I was doing the body, and I was slowly building the shading and the deep balls and all that stuff in there, and that I guess would have been the boring part, so nothing exciting happened there, and nothing was missed. So I'm not too sorry I forgot to record that part, but at the same time kind of scary to do a drawing and realize more than halfway in that you screwed up and you forgot to hit record. The drawing for today, I started it again without much of a thinking. The only thing that I put on the page was some circles and a line, a curvy line around those circles, and then I started to build on those, especially on the lines. I had no idea where the drawing wanted to go until I was an hour into it, and finally when I was an hour into it, things started to click in and see some type of a creature in there. I did end up with, again, something really unknown. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it. I don't know how it survives. I don't know how it lives. I don't know what it is. But it's more of a fur ball with an eye, I guess. And it is, again, just a side profile, nothing from front or front side view. And it turned out to be in the same position as my last drawing from last week, but looking quite different. No hairdo this time, or I think there is no hairdo. Kind of like it. It's mysterious and maybe not as scary as some of my other drawings that I've been doing. I wanted to do like a fade in, so maybe it's again something that floats or flies or levitates, and then just the hair kind of falls down. For whatever reason, I thought it would be like a weird type of alien rooster, but mostly because of the crest. Is it crest? I don't know exactly what the name for that part is that I'm drawing. The beak is not really a beak, it's more like a walrus. I don't know why, but by the end of it, all I was seeing in this drawing was a weird combination between a walrus and a rooster. Walrus because of the bottom part, which almost look like, I don't know, teeth, or not necessarily teeth, but like, you know, that mustache of a walrus, and then you have the, I guess, the teeth coming out of it. But I don't know why I was seeing that, but that's what I think I end up with. Some sort of a weird alien creature that in a weird way combines a walrus and a rooster. I was thinking to put it on some weird tiny legs, but I didn't like that idea too much, and I wasn't exactly sure how to make the transition from one to another. So in the end, I just let the hair loose and just imagine that is a floating kind of a creature or levitating creature. Anyway, another weird creature from myself today. I do enjoy how it actually end up, and I really like this ink on this paper, so you'll probably see me using it a little bit more. I'm most probably going to be using it on my next video as well, which, by the way, stay tuned. Most probably that's when I'm gonna be doing the giveaway for my fountain pens, and most probably I'll be drawing with one of my fountain pens in the next one. So no actual review, it will be mostly focused on my fountain pens, the B6 version, or maybe I'll finally use the B8. I don't remember using a B8 fountain pen in any of my drawings. Maybe it's time to basically put it to use. Anywho, weird drawing, love the drawing, interesting fountain pen, I love it, definitely recommend it if you can cash out the 160 Canadian dollars that it cost. But a pretty cool fountain pen, I do like it and I do recommend it. With that said, thanks a lot for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you next time, and I wish you all the best and a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.